Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for everybody coming to this evening's event. This is the first event of this year, actually. Actually, we have one in January. We co-hosted it with another chapter. Yeah. So this is the first event we have this year about the career panel. So I'm very excited about it. Mm, okay, this just to remind me to record the event. So this event is already being recorded. Yeah, welcome everybody for this event. A little bit introduce about myself. I'm Sophie. I'm a working appliance scientist at Zillow, uh, especially under the org of Zillow Offers, so in which I do valuation of the home prices using machine learning models, and I also do some experimentation design. So it's more like a generalist data scientist. So this year, I know it can be very challenging for people to find jobs, especially because COVID, and it seems like the whole workforce is transitioning to be work from home. So the Seattle in Women DS chapter thinks it can be a good opportunity to host a career panel. So this event, we are going to focus on 6 talks. We have 6 wonderful ladies from different areas of the industry. We're going to cover like how to transition from academia to industry and how to grow your career. Okay, so I would like to spend a few minutes to talk about our org. So I'm one of the co-organizer of the WMO DS Seattle chapter. I'm a appliance scientist, and I actually work with Laurence and Emily. We are all appliance scientists. Sheena and Shruti, they are engineering ML managers. We actually all work for Zillow. We just expand our team within Zillow, but definitely welcome volunteers to join our team. Yeah, so Women DS is actually a global organization. You can see we have a lot of sister chapters from all over the world. Um, yeah, a bit more about the details. We are a nonprofit organization with a mission to support and promote women and gender minorities who are practicing, studying, and are interested in the fields of machine learning, data science. So our goal is to create opportunities for members to engage in technical and professional conversations. We often host a variety of events, including tech talks, workshops, networking events, hackathons, and apparently, like today, we also have career panels. So those are the informations how to connect with us, and I share those in our meetup page. You can see we have we often upload our new events in meetup page. We also have a Twitter account. Yeah, this YouTube is actually YouTube channel of the global chapter. So all the recordings of the events all over the world will be there. Yeah, so some agenda about tonight's event. So we are going to have 6 ladies talking about their experience about how to grow their career and develop their skills and work-life balances as well. It's really casual. The first 3 ladies are going to talk about um, their experience with the slide. So the talk maybe is 10-15 minutes. And in the end, we are going to have 5 minutes to answer questions. And then we're going to move to the second stage. We are going to have like 3 more ladies sharing their experiences. It's a little bit shorter, but then since it's a career panel, so I want to have more time for open questions and maybe some like Zoom breakouts, virtual networking. Okay, so for the Q&A, like just post your questions on the chat because you guys will be muted, so I can like read them one by one. Okay, so yeah, so this event will be recorded and put on our official YouTube channel. Okay, so without further ado, let's like welcome our first speakers. Okay, so I will just read the bio to give an introduction of our speakers. So the first speaker is Arushi. She is applied scientist at Amazon in Seattle. She uses machine learning and natural language processing for workforce analytics. She is a community builder at Amazon, AnitaB.org, and Women in Data Science. You can follow her work on LinkedIn and Medium and Twitter as well. I will post those informations in the chat. Here's the abstract for her talk. Are you one of the many PhDs considering career in data science? I studied as data scientist soon after completing a PhD in chemical engineering. It was the first job of my career and seemingly at odds with my engineering training for 8 years. This talk will cover my past and some questions about the career move. Okay. Okay, so I guess I will share the screen.
If you just scroll to the first slide.
Okay, I think some trouble navigating. Okay, is this good enough? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. I was just trying to see if I can see you guys because now I just can't hear it, can't see anything. Okay, I guess I just need to figure it out later. Okay. So just let me know, just say like, let me know when you're ready to go to the next slide.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks so much, Sophie, for organizing this. And I'm so excited to be here and actually catch up with a lot of my friends on the panel and hear their stories. Uh, it's been a hard week in the US, so thank you so much for turning up here and taking this time to think about your career. uh, I hope that at the end of this talk, you will have a little more motivation to keep pushing through and making that transition from academia to data science. Next slide, please, Sophie. Awesome. So before we get to the meat of the talk, I wanted to share a little bit about my background so that when I'm giving you advice, you have that context in mind, where I'm coming from and why I would give you a certain piece of advice. And so I am trained as a chemical engineer. I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering from India, and then I came to Seattle for my grad school. And after 4 years in grad school and then previous few years as bachelor's, I transitioned to data science. And I've been in Seattle for the past 7 years, and I entirely love the city. So right after academia, I started as a data scientist at Zulily, which is an e-commerce company. And there I was really excited because not only was it my first job, but I found a team where almost everyone had transitioned from academia to data science. So I found almost like a research group with mentors who could train me and help me grow in the field. And about a year and a half later, after doing some exciting projects at Zulily, I moved to Amazon as an applied scientist. And so there are a lot of differences between the data science, different data roles in the industry. So in my experience, the data science role that I was doing at Zulily had a lot of model prototyping, a lot of statistics and A/B testing. But when I moved to an applied scientist role in Amazon, it has a lot more software engineering in it. And so if you wanted to be a data scientist who does all of the science and then an added layer of software engineering, an applied scientist role might be good for you. But otherwise, if you want to play around in the area of more of the science and product data science, then maybe a data scientist role is great for you. And that's just from my experience. But I also wanted to talk about how I transitioned. And so, to give you some more context there, I already was doing a kind of research that was very computational. So, I wasn't in a wet lab environment. I was doing these large physics based simulations to understand proteins. And these are technically called molecular dynamics simulations. And so, what would happen is we would get like gigabytes of data, and we would use a lot of Python scripts, basic statistics, and some maybe unsupervised machine learning techniques to analyze our data. And then while I was in grad school, it so happened that my PhD advisor had started this data science program for non computer scientists. And so all of us from chemical engineering, maybe material science and engineering, did a few courses, and we could formally get a minor in data science. And so at the end of my PhD, and this is funny because maybe 2 months out from a graduation is when I decided that I wanted to move into data science. And so that really didn't give me a lot of time to either get an internship on my resume or to shape my research projects into something that's more data science heavy or more machine learning heavy. And so there was really a lot of scramble to prepare myself in the right way for the interviews. So I almost had to do like a boot camp for myself, where I was rapidly learning a lot of lead code problems, rapidly revising all of the basic data science, from whether it's picking up your standard ICLR textbook or elements of statistical learning, and then reaching out to a LinkedIn network that I was just starting to build to figure out if somebody could guide me in the right direction. So, reaching out to alumni who might have transitioned to data science, reaching out to hiring managers who had like hiring on their profile. So it was the time where you didn't have those circular pictures with hashtag hiring on it, and so people were a lot less open about it. Yet, I actually got my first job in data science through a LinkedIn Connect, and I was really happy with that. Uh, so yeah, and now I have completed 2 years in the industry, so that squarely puts me as an early career data scientist. And so here in this talk, I wanted to give you a little bit of advice about that transition, and then just about a little bit about surviving the field. I am learning every day, and hopefully we can learn about this together. Next slide, please. Okay. So when I look back at my journey into data science, it kind of falls into a neat narrative, or hindsight 2020. But it was actually really tough in the moment. It was tough to decide that you wanted to leave academia. You wanted to leave all of your colleagues and friends who were, well positioned in that industry. To decide that after 5 years of building up to be an expert in an area, you are now giving up all of that professional capital and restarting your life in a different, if in a different career. And so, one thing that I think really helped me is developing this sense of self advocacy and practicing that. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what self advocacy means, and and why that might be hard, especially coming from for women. Self advocacy has been reported to be just harder for us. Uh, so yeah, self advocacy is simply the action of representing oneself or one's views or interests. Is